So we're going to need to get started soon. You want to be starting something? Got to be starting something. Too high to get over, too low to get under. You're stuck in the middle. And I don't know the next line.
They actually put a listen to the bands that you're voting for.
Yes, and I wanted to highlight that. I'm like, this is an award system done right.
Yeah. Oh, wow, and Lecrae is one of the people up for voting?
Yeah. Well, and they have, like, best hip-hop thing, too.
Oh, that's probably not a dumb idea.
No, not at all.
Best album art and propaganda. Behemoth?
Best album art, and they show you all the album arts.
Yes.
That one from Mastodon. Man, that is wicked.
Yeah. The
thing I'm wondering on this is I see Demon Hunter at the top here, but how many of these did Ryan Clark design? So no matter what we do, are we just voting for Ryan Clark pretty much in this instance?
Actually, I think the only ones he designed, I think maybe the Woven War one. But I don't even think that.
No, I don't think
it's
they're
a resemblance of his. But I think Demon Hunter is actually the only one.
Yeah, they have best hip hop album. It's got Manifest, Tadashi, Propaganda, Andy Mineo, Trip Lee, Shylin, Thistle, I think, or Thistle. Thistle. THI''SL.
Yeah, I see it. I always thought it was Thistle, but
yeah, I would think it's Thistle too. But I thought Mineo
maybe
was
it's
also.
Maybe it's Ty SL.
Tysel?
Ty SL.
Yes. Ty, super large. Best song? It's interesting to me that Woven War is listed here.
Well, Mastodon, I don't think is a Christian band either.
Are they?
I don't think they are.
So that's the kind of stuff that's just interesting to me in going through this process is like what is HM going for?
Right.
Ultimately, I guess.
I typed in, is Mastodon a, and the suggestions were a Christian band, a satanic band, a good band, a dinosaur.
Yes to all of the above.
Oh, wait, no. Oh, I don't know. But see, there's more than one Mastodon. And the one that they did, yeah, because that's Mastodon, and the Mastodon is the one that was formed by John and Dino Elefante.
Oh,
way back in the day.
Way back in the day.
But Mastodon is American metal band from Atlanta, Georgia, formed in early 2000. Let's see. Looking at their Wikipedia page. Wikipedia. Looks like the only mention of the word Christian is for the disambiguation for the other Mastodon band. So
all right.
I don't know. Maybe not. But it may just be that they're not a band that tends to be,
right,
adverse at the same time. Because sometimes,
like they may not claim Christianity, but they also probably keep their stuff clean.
I'm thinking so.
Kinda.
Yeah, that'd probably be my guess.
Yep.
Yes. That's what I say here. All right. The key is to not move your tongue very much, and to
did you
keep
see
it
the
in
post from Kirk?
From Kirk?
Yes. He tagged you in a post. It says, "Hey Paul, did you see this coming?" And it's a Chagall Guevara reunion. Yeah. Chagall Guevara reunites as the encore of Steve Taylor and the Perfect Foils album release concert.
Oh, so it's like so it already happened then. That's cool. No, I did not know about that. Did not see that coming either. Aha. Which, once again, is why I should live in Nashville. Anyway, such is life.
Yep.
Yeah, did you see pictures that apparently Kevin Max showed up at the CD release party?
No.
Yeah, there were pictures of him and Steve at the CD release party.
That's funny.
Like, dang it, why wasn't I there?
It's funny. He called Peter Furler one of the best lyricists of our time in the interview.
Yeah. Yep. He's come a long way. And he's also, he's also always very much lauded him for having a good sense of musical hook, which Steve felt like was something that kind of evaded him. So that's the reason why they kind of co-wrote the Perfect Foil album together.
Right.
But yeah, I really like the album. It's good stuff. Okay, well, as soon as I get my soundboard program loaded up and then do a sound check on that, then I think I will be good to start if you are.
Okay.
Although I honestly don't know what other newsy things we need to talk about yet, but, what are you going to do? All right. Let's see here. That. And that. What else do we want to put in there? And that. I think that's it. Okay. Yeah, I think so. Okay. Oh, and by the way, I don't have a quiz. Sorry.
What?
I know.
Gosh. I'm just going to have to find myself a new co-host.
Good luck. I'll spread all sorts of rumors about you.
Like what?
I don't know. I'll think of something. Like, you won't believe what he says to me before the stream starts. So what do you think about the new iTunes layout?
I'm not a huge fan.
Did you like the last update? Like the one before this?
It was okay. The big thing I don't like is the way that they deal with the music, and like I liked having the sidebar, and it's really difficult to get that sidebar back.
So like the playlist sidebar?
Yeah. I mean, I figured out how to do it, but I don't like I liked just having it there. I mean, it was very it's very handy, especially for when I'm editing, I use iTunes to do all my conversion.
Right.
So, I figured out how to make it work, but I shouldn't have had to have figured it out. It should have just been there.
A little bit more dirt simple?
Yes.
I'm agreeing. That wasn't meant to be a slam, I promise.
Alrighty.
Is that demolishing happening downstairs?
Oh, do you hear that? Yeah. That's my wife destroying our tile countertops.
That's fabulous.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Wow, is no one in the chat room?
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, even my co-host isn't in the chat room. I feel very alone. Very, very alone.
Lonely, I'm Mr. Lonely. I have nobody to call my own. I'm so
Can you
lonely.
please stop doing that? Okay, this is going to tell you how bad that was. I'd rather listen to Amy Grant than what you just did.
I don't know. That doesn't say a whole lot to me. That's okay. What's wrong with
Baby.
Baby.
All right. So I guess we should probably get started, eh?
Okay, let's do that.
Even if no one's here to enjoy this with us.
Such is life. Hang on,
Yeah.
let me get this thing going.
Yes, get this thing going. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started, huh?
Yeah, I can still remember when that was first released, and I figured out what the normal version of that song was supposed to be. I'm like, oh, this is just stupid. Okay. Okay, so it looks like my levels are pretty good. Let me make sure that
Did I make a stinky?
a little quiet.
Why is that your go-to? Why can't you
'Cause
use
it's
something
short.
else as your go-to?
Because it's short. That's the
Now
only
here's
reason.
something we hope you'll really like.
Right, but this one, I like it because it's very, very short, and it gives me just a quick level. And because mine doesn't have a, you have to understand, mine doesn't have a pause.
Okay, can I suggest something to you?
You can
You now have an iPad mini.
get Boss Jock.
Yeah.
Well, I know.
It's
and I
$10.
want to. I know, but I don't want to spend $10. But
It's
let's see.
$10.
I know.
Okay.
Did I make a stinky?
Okay. And
Did I make a stinky?
still needs to be higher.
Did I make a stinky?
That seems a bit hot on my end.
It does?
Yeah, the one you had, the level you had before that,
Really?
yeah, was
Do I
better.
seem hot to you?
You are just a little bit. There's times where your audio to me fuzzes a little bit, but I don't know if it. I mean, you've got the new.
Compressor.
Yes.
Preamp.
So I don't know if it's just the cheap Apple headphone I'm using that's causing that, or what. But you're definitely more warm, so some of your mids fuzz a little bit when you get excited and animated about something.
Okay. Like that?
So
Yeah. Okay. Well, hang on. One more time.
Did I make a stinky?
Okay, that's close enough. Does it sound decent to you?
yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's a little hot, but it's all right. I'm not recording your end, so it's just
Right.
what I hear in my ear. That's all.
Okay.
All right, are we ready?
We ready.
All right, let's hit record in 3, 2, 1. This episode of the Rockin' a Hard Place podcast brought to you by Tweaked Audio at tweakedaudio.com. Use the code HARDPLACE to get 33% off your order. That's tweakedaudio.com. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Rockin' a Hard Place podcast. My name is Chris Cooner. I'm a DJ with Broken FM. You can check us out online at broken.fm. Joining me today is the man, the myth, the legend. In a world where radio DJs decide to podcast, one man rises above the rest. It's Paul Gibson.
That's right. Rising above everything to be the co-host to the other man, myth, and legend, Chris Cooner. Yeah. So I get to host the Christian Rock 20 Countdown, and always a lot of fun. Of course, this week I get to have one of those weird experiences where I'm interviewing somebody who thoroughly does not fit in the category, but is still charting in the category, or at least was. So Tadashi on this week's show, which was fun, just because it was something different, and plus he's another one of those musicians who's also a radio guy. So that
Oh, is
also
that right?
kind of made it fun. Yeah, he
I
has a
did not know
show
that.
on Engine Radio in Houston where
Okay.
he plays a bunch of hip hop stuff, and I don't know how much mixing he does, but he does have his own show, and so that was fun chatting with him about the differences and how he handles that and how I handled it. We're exact opposites. One of the things that he said was when he first started, one of the things he had to do was he had a picture of a crowd that he stuck in front of the soundboard so that he could talk to the crowd, because that's what he's used to as a performer.
Yeah.
I said, that's so great that you do that. when I started, and even now, I still get a little nervous standing up in front of an actual group of people where I can see them.
Right.
So what works for me is pretending like no one's listening at all.
That's right. That's exactly right.
He's like, yeah, that's another way to do it.
Yeah. They used to tell me, if you picture everybody in their underwear, you think that they would be more nervous than you. And I'm like, that's not really a thought that I want in my head. So, not such a good deal in that regard. But no, that's awesome. I did not realize that he was a radio guy.
Yeah. It's a new thing for him. I mean, I think that was one of the things when they were looking at specialty shows and they started the Phenomenon show with Soul Glow Activator. I think they also did, they were like, well, they approached him about the show. They're like, hey, because he's from Houston and lives in the area.
Right.
Like, hey, would you be interested in doing this? And he's like, oh, sure, that sounds like fun. And then, then he got to learn how to do it, which, of course, that irks me just a little bit because I'm like, I went to school for this. Come on.
Yeah, well, you can't have it your way, Paul. It's not Burger King.
No.
Life is not Burger King. So it's funny, you mentioned engine radio, and I got to thinking, I had a buddy of mine at my Bible study on Tuesday night. We're sitting around the table eating dinner together, and he comes up and he says, the Washington Redskins, they're looking at having to change their name because I guess a lot of people are saying it's not politically correct for them to be called the Redskins. So his idea was to call themselves the Injuns. And he's like, they could have like a motor as their thing and just engines, I mean,
that's just so wrong.
Yeah.
Funny, but wrong.
Well, and it's even more funny for me because there were wives at the table who didn't understand the double meaning. So trying to explain to them that was the derogatory term that was used in the Wild West because they were lazy slackers. That was, kind of how that went down. So anyhow, if you hear a lot of like banging and knocking noises in the background, have no fear. My wife is downstairs tearing out countertops right now. And if you're wondering why I'm not down there with her, it's because I am a smart man. No. No. It's nothing like that. She wants to get the countertops done. I told her that, I need to do the show first, and she opted to go ahead and start without me. So there's plenty of work for me to do when I get down there. And she also asked that I describe her as my hot wife is downstairs tearing out the countertops.
So imagine Chris's wife as you've never probably seen her before, unless you're just like, I mean, has she ever been seen on the stream?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. So you have no point of reference unless you're friends with him maybe on Facebook. But just imagine his wife, and then, and I don't want to say imagine her hot because that just sends all sorts of bad connotations.
All sweaty and nasty from working or something,
But holding a sledgehammer, though, right?
Exactly.
I know people who would think that was hot no matter what.
That's a calendar pinup right there, I tell you.
That's right.
So, so if you hear some banging noises and noise in the background and stuff like that, my studio is definitely not soundproof. I do what I can to mitigate that, but it doesn't always work very well. So have no fear. As soon as we get done with this, I'm going to go down there and help her out. And by the time you're listening to this, most of the work will have been done, and the podcast won't have been edited until much later on in the evening. So,
right.
I'd share this with the people in the chat room in the stream, but there's no one there.
Right.
So we're Paul and I are on our own today. It's really kind of weird. It's kind of like the old days.
Yeah.
Kind of like the old days. Well, Paul, Thanksgiving is next week. Christmas, just a month away almost.
No, it's creepy and kind of sad for me.
When do you start programming Christmas music into the Christian Rock 20?
Next week's show will be the first week
that
will have Christmas tunes in it.
Gotcha.
And there hasn't, which will be interesting because the only full-fledged Christmas record that's come out that has stuff on it that I think I will play is the Solid State, like Christian metal record, Christian Christmas metal record.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think that's about it. And I've heard that they're going to be servicing that to us, which I'm excited
Play
about.
MPE on Monday is what Tim says.
Exactly. So I'm excited about that. But the only other song that's really even come across my desk that was just like, yes, another Christmas song from these guys is these dudes who are up from my area. They're called Spiritual Plague.
Yeah.
And they always release a really good, solid Christmas track. And so they sent me another one.
Us. They sent it to us as well and asked if we'd air it. And I listened to it and I said, oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really
it's
good.
Like it's heavy. It's well produced. What's not to like?
Yeah, totally. So definitely the day after Thanksgiving, when I make, this is going to sound funny when I say this, when I make logs the day after Thanksgiving,
Oh. I hope some of those logs come on Thanksgiving Day, too, because otherwise you may be a little bit in pain.
So when I do that, we will begin the Christmas rotation. We've done it the day after Thanksgiving in years past, but when Thanksgiving is like the second to last week, people kind of push back a little bit. It's like, no, that's too early for Christmas tunes. So last year, Thanksgiving was early, and so we ended up waiting until December 1st to do our Christmas tunes. But this year, it's like the 27th or something and the 28th. So we're going to start the music right then instead of waiting a couple days for the first. We've already had, we talk about it a little bit on Facebook, and we've already had people, why does everybody love Christmas music? I just don't understand.
Let's ignore it. Let's ignore Christmas altogether.
I hate everything about Christmas music. It's so happy, and I don't want to be happy.
I so was that person at one time, I think.
Well, I got turned off. I've told this story before, I'm sure, but I got turned off on Christmas music when I worked in retail many, many years ago. Yes. Because they had one tape that was on a loop. Mm-hmm. And, I think it was like a 90-minute tape. So every 90 minutes, you would hear the same songs over and over again. And that music started the day after Thanksgiving, and it didn't stop until after Christmas.
Right. I worked at Old Navy, and it was the same kind of thing, except for ours may have actually, because we got a really new CD. And I think they may have put like one or two Christmas songs on it, maybe like October-ish, and then definitely November on through. And the worst thing is somehow the CD that was supposed to be the New Year CD, like the January No More Christmas Music CD,
right,
it arrived damaged.
Oh.
So we got to listen to Christmas music, the same stuff, for another month.
Oh, that's not good.
Lots of Mariah Carey Christmas songs.
Wow, that's not good. That's not good at all.
That is, in fact, the opposite of good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we've got a little bit of new stuff to talk about. Had an opportunity this week, Tim and I did actually, to interview Steve Taylor about his new album and music project and all of that good stuff, and that was always good. So definitely enjoyed having an opportunity to talk to him. And I gotta say, Paul, I haven't had a chance to actually talk to you about this, but in listening to this album,
well, hold that thought for just a second.
Okay,
we have to remind people of why this is so important.
Oh yes, would you want to tell the story?
Well, we tried to convince Chris that Steve Taylor was awesome, and aside from his producing and movie making prowess, as an actual musician in his own voice, and so we dedicated an entire show to doing nothing but playing Steve Taylor staples for Chris to try to talk him into it. And we even got this on my phone from Steve, reiterating how important this was to even him.
So, Chris, Paul told me about this little issue that we have going on, and I just want you to know that our first and really only goal with the new album is to make you like me.
Yes.
Now, I want to clarify. I have never not liked Steve. I just haven't been a fan of a lot of his music in the past. So, let's clarify just a hair on that. I don't have an issue with Steve. I just have not been a huge fan of his music. But as I was listening to his newest album, Goliath, I found a lot in there that I really, really enjoyed. And we told him this when we interviewed him, because Tim and I, we do the interview, usually we do the interview before lunch. In this case, he needed us to do it after lunch. So as we're walking over to In-N-Out to grab our Monday burger, we're talking about the album, and I'm listening to it in one headphone as we're walking over.
Right.
And I said, there's an aspect of this album where Steve kind of sounds a little bit like Alice Cooper. And so we brought that up to him, and he was like, yeah, I could see that. And we said, now understand, we mean that in a good way. And he goes, oh, no, I would only take that as a compliment. He's like, I'm a huge Alice fan. He's a great musician and very talented, and, I totally get what it is he's doing and all of that stuff. So, he took that in the spirit that it was intended. But I really, really enjoyed most of the songs on the album. I mean, I have some that I enjoyed more than others, but as an album, I felt like it was very complete and well done. And I'll even go so far as to say this: I will look forward to the next one.
Ooh. Very nice. Of course, who knows how long that'll take, because this one's been in the works for like 4 years.
Oh, no. Some of these songs he's had for over a decade.
Are some of them indeed like leftover Chagall Guevara songs?
Not necessarily leftover, but ones that he's been chewing on for a long time, but had so many other projects that they kind of got pushed to the side, and this was an opportunity for them to be able to come to light.
Yeah.
So go back and listen to the interview. It's available on the Broken FM podcast, which is through iTunes right now. I haven't added it into the Broken FM app, so if you have that, hang tight. I'll get to it this week, I promise. But if you have an opportunity, go back and listen to the interview, because he talks a lot about that. There's a couple of songs on there that he'd really been chewing on for a really long time, and he was really excited to be able to get to the point to where he could let some of this music out.
Right, absolutely. And as a teaser for next week, he'll be on my show.
Yeah, oh, nice.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah. He was an easy interview. I mean, he's one of those guys that we could have easily talked to for an hour. But he had a limited time. He was in the midst of doing some other recording stuff. And so we had this little tiny window he created just for us that day to be able to get him in. He was like, you need to call me at 12:25 or 2:25 Central Time. So it was like 2:25 on the nose. We dialed the phone. He answered. We got our 20-minute conversation, and then we let him go back to his busy schedule. Yeah. So it was really good. We were very grateful that he took the time to talk to us, and he was a very fun interview. Like I said, I could see us hanging out somewhere and just talking about all kinds of random things.
Oh, yeah.
So
absolutely.
Very, very cool. Very cool. Let's see. HM Magazine. I got an email last night, and I was like, HM Magazine? Really? What's going on there? And I noticed that they are doing voting right now for the HM Awards.
Yeah, they are.
So,
which is always fun.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Most definitely. Paul and I are going to go through the list here, and probably just go ahead and vote. What do you think, Paul? Of course, some of these I don't know.
Yeah, I may go ahead and vote, but I am very curious to check out some of the other for the stuff that I'm not as familiar with. I want to go back and check out just because I am intrigued.
Okay, so let's go through the list right now. We've got Best New Band. Okay, the nominees are Ugly Twin, Silent Planet, Unteachers, 68, Sleepwave, and Household.
Very nice.
Now
hey, before we get too far, is that the order that they were written on your screen?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. They jumble them then.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because on mine it's Silent Planet, Ugly Twin, 68, Sleepwave, Household, and Unteachers.
Oh, wow. That is funny.
That's cool, though, because, you have to wonder in some cases, like, does one artist get more votes just because they're the top name and people like, I don't know any of these people, the top one.
Yeah, totally. Okay, that's cool. Now, here's another cool thing, though. If you don't know anything about any of these bands, they have, like, a little Spotify plugin that you can actually listen to tracks from these bands and
That
get a
they do.
sense for who it is that you really want to vote for. So you don't have to go off of memory. If you don't know anything about Ugly Twin, you can just scroll through this playlist right here, and you can listen to an Ugly Twin song. They've
That's
got The Axe, The Fisherman, The Mirror, The Blessing, The Quarrel. Boy, they like the in front of their titles a lot. The Scoundrel, The Audit, The Overture. So they've got opportunities for you to be able to check out all the different music from these different bands, and then you can make an educated and informed decision as to who the best new band of 2014 is for the HM Awards. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yes.
Next, best live band.
See, I feel so out of touch. The only band that I've seen on this entire lineup is Sleeping Giant.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. I mean, they put on a good show. I mean, no
Right.
doubt about it.
Right.
So I guess I kind of have to vote for them because I enjoyed their show.
Okay.
But there's nobody else that I've actually seen.
So the nominees for that are 68, Beartooth, Sleeping Giant, Silent Planet, Memphis Mayfire, Phineas, The Color Morale, and Islander.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good list.
It is. It is. Let's see. Islander. They're the ones that do Coconut Dracula?
Yes.
Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Memphis Mayfire was just in San Francisco last week, and Phineas is actually coming through Santa Rosa on December 20th.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I think Dustin's going to have an opportunity to get backstage with them and do a little chit-chat before the show. So
It's so funny
pretty
because
stoked
when
about
Dustin
that.
first got, hired to do that show, I remember we met him at some point over Skype or something because he was in the studio while you were doing something and we were talking, and he just thought it was just weirdly, he was kind of geeking out just the fact that you were talking to me, which I thought was hilarious. But I'm a little jealous of him because if I was in an area where it's like all of these opportunities were coming so close, man, I would so be all over that.
Yeah, totally. No, I tried to get him an interview with Memphis Mayfire, backstage passes when they were in San Francisco, and I tried like crazy, and the guy was talking to me up until like 2 days before the show, and then the guy stopped returning my emails. So I was like, thanks, appreciate that very much. Next is best album art, and here again they did something really cool. They actually show you the album art from the different albums. So I think that's awesome. Gives you an opportunity to figure out which one you want to vote for. They are as follows: Propaganda with The Crimson Cord, Behemoth with The Satanist, Mastodon, One More Round the Sun, Lecrae's Anomaly, Demon Hunter's Extremist, The Contortionist, Language, Woven War, self-titled, War of Ages, Supreme Chaos.
Which is so interesting because, to the best of my knowledge, I didn't know that Behemoth, The Contortionist, Woven War, or Mastodon, any of which were Christian bands.
Right.
They all have really cool album art, though.
Yeah.
I'll throw that in there. But
Totally.
I don't know. And I know that they've probably done some features on all of those bands in recent history, which is not all that odd because they've been doing So-and-So Says for so long.
Right.
But at the same time, it's interesting that they chose to do those in an album art category. But I don't know. They're welcome to do what they want. I know that a lot of things changed when Doug stepped down and David Stagg took over. Right. And they weren't necessarily bad changes, but it's just different.
Yeah. No, my big thing is that since it's gone to a digital magazine, I have not read it once.
Yeah.
I have not had time to sit down and go to the website and read the magazine and all of that kind of stuff. I don't know. When it comes to magazines, I don't like reading them in a digital format. I'd rather hold it in my hand and read it. I know that sounds weird, but
Not
for
to
me, I mean, that's my preference. I don't know. Books, I'm fine with reading books on my Kindle.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that at all. All right. Best tour or festival. So we've got Anne Boleyn's Farewell Tour. We've got Unconditional Tour with MMF featuring The Ghost Inside and The Word Alive. Sunshine Festival with August Burns Red featuring War of Ages, Wolves at the Gate, and Darkness Divided. South by So What with The Used and Taking Back Sunday featuring Asking Alexandria and more. Finished People Tour with Sleeping Giant featuring This or the Apocalypse, Phineas, and Silent Planet. And last but not least, Warped Tour with A Day to Remember, Beartooth, For Today, and more.
Nice.
So I know Dustin got to go to Warped as a media rep, and he had a blast.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Yeah. Let's see. Best hip hop album. Now, here again, if you don't know anything about these guys, they've got a Spotify playlist that you can listen to all of these artists and check out which one you think you like. So, best hip hop album. Okay. Manifest with The Moment. Tadashi with Below Paradise. Propaganda with The Crimson Chord. Andy Mineo's Neverland. Trip Lee with Rise. Shai Lin, Lyrical Theology Part 2, Doxology. Thistle with Fallen King. And Lecrae, Anomaly.
Yeah.
Now, the only three that I've heard on there is Manifest, Andy Mineo, and Lecrae.
Right.
And all three of them are fantastic.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what to do.
Right.
Let's see here. Best song. And that's not the last one. We still got a couple more. So best song is For Today with Break the Cycle. Memphis Mayfire with No Ordinary Love. Unteachers with Cusp. Beartooth with The Lines. Demon Hunter with Cross to Bear. Those Who Fear with Ego Trip. Islander, Coconut Dracula. And Project 86 with Genosha.
Yeah.
Project 86 is pretty awesome.
Yes.
All right. Best band. This is quite a list. I only know a few of these. Gideon, For Today, Islander, 68, Memphis Mayfire, Project 86, Beartooth, and Demon Hunter.
Wow, that's a tough list.
Man, you're not kidding.
Can I point out something I think is kind of funny?
Sure.
You got 68 and Project 86 both in the same category. I just find that kind of funny.
That's true, huh? All right. Best album. We've got 68 in Humor and Sadness. Sleeping Giant, Finished People. Silent Planet, The Night God Slept. Islander, Violence and Destruction. Those Who Fear, Death Sentence. War of Ages, Supreme Chaos. Beartooth, Disgusting. Demon Hunter, Extremist.
Nice.
And that is the last of the awards the last of the nominees to vote for. If you want to vote, you can go to vote.hmmagazine.com and you can cast your vote for who you would like to see. And if you want to get an opportunity to listen, they've got all of the options there for you to be able to hear what's going on in that regard. So kudos to them for doing a list that we can actually sink our teeth into.
Right.
And for making it so that if you don't know anything about a particular band, you have an opportunity to listen or see the album art for that album. I mean, I think that this is one of the best setups I've seen for an awards list in a long time.
And it's funny because it's like it's got all that stuff, but yet it doesn't come off as like overly flashy or complicated. They just thought it through really well.
Totally. No, it's very simple, which I love. Very clean. And I like the way that it's random for each one. Yeah. That way they're not trying to push a particular, Ugly Twins on the top all the time, so maybe they're the ones who I should vote for.
Right.
So very cool. Vote.hmmagazine.com.
Yeah.
Any other major news we need to be aware of there, Paul?
A couple of quick things.
Sure.
First off, the Modern Post, which is Dustin Kinsrew's side project, is going to be releasing a Christmas EP on the 24th. So that by Tuesday. So it's dropping on Tuesday. It's called Lowborn Kings. It's going to be dropping on, I think, BEC Recordings.
Okay.
So look forward to that. Now, it is just a Christmas EP. It's not a full-length Christmas album, but still pretty excited about that.
I wonder if it'll be anything like his other one that he did.
I don't know.
That one was very different. I had a hard time getting into his more worship stuff. Yeah, I don't know why. It didn't strike me the way that I wanted it to.
Right.
So nothing against him, just didn't hit
No.
me where I felt like I wanted to be hit.
Right, exactly. And then Lights Go Down, which is, of course, Jason Dunn's new punk band, which we could go through the whole name
Let's not bother.
round robin, but we don't need to. They're called Lights Go Down. They're punk. It's no longer singer-songwritery stuff. And this is apart from his solo project called the Hank Nielsen that just dropped.
Okay.
Which was a little bit more singer-songwriter. This is separate from that. But they're about to start a fundraising project, I think on November or December 1st. So that's coming up very soon. And I got to hear a new song from them. It's good. It's very much in the vein of a little bit more of the punkier Hawk Nelson stuff.
Okay.
And it's kind of anthemic, kind of fun. Like it. So look forward to that coming up very soon. Of course, we'll let you know more about that. I don't have a clip from this, but apparently Pillar has posted a teaser clip of a new song called Embrace the Chaos.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's up on YouTube. You can go to indievisionmusic.com and check that out. I think it's more like they're shooting some stuff in studio, and I think they're going to play like a clip off the computer. So it's going to probably be somewhat degraded. That's the reason why
Gotcha.
I didn't pull a clip from it, because I was like,
Yeah.
Anyway. And also, if you're a big fan of the Christmas music, I don't have a clip from this either, maybe later, but Sleeping at Last has posted a Christmas collection on Noise Trade, which you can check out for free. And it's got several new renditions, I think, of songs they maybe have done before.
Okay.
But all that's in there. Blindsides, working on some new material.
Nice.
Awesome. And Knives, of course, is Ryan Clark from Demon Hunter and Randy Torres, formerly of Project 86, have met their goal, and now they're doing stretch goals.
Excellent.
Which is very cool. So that will happen. And another thing that I don't have a clip from, but is Noise Trade, and you should definitely check it out, is Heath McNeese has dropped another acoustic album.
Really?
Yeah, he goes, I know a lot of you guys are going to think I'm nuts because I just released, the Fort Wayne documentary and, album that went with it. But hey, whenever I, feel the urge to create, I'm going to create, and I don't want to sit on it just because there's some rule about, oh, you should wait this long before you release new stuff. So there it is. Go grab it.
Awesome.
Oh, okay.
Good deal.
So, and then the other thing that I know we're both excited about is London 6 Echo. Which is Andrew Schwab's side project, has finally released a song. Now, it has not been serviced to radio or anything yet.
No.
But you can stream it on, I believe, on their Facebook page and all that good stuff. And on SoundCloud is, I believe, where it's officially hosted. And I do have a clip of that. So
Okay.
if you've been wondering what in the world could this possibly sound like, well, here it is. It's called I Am the Beginning. And here's a little chunk of it. So there you go. I Am the Beginning, London 6 Echo.
Very different, but still interesting. It'll be interesting to see kind of what the rest of the album sounds like once it finally makes its way out and available. So,
Right. And I'm sure that he probably brought this up with you guys as well, but that, of course, has been touted as this is like a taste to see what kind of the populace reaction is to it.
Right.
It's like people seem to like it. I want to do more, but this is just going to be a very small EP just to see if people care.
yeah, he doesn't really want to waste his time with it. I mean, and that's, I don't know. I'm kind of torn with that kind of I don't want to say that kind of an attitude, but
Yeah.
it just seems that if you're going to do it because you want to do it, not because you want to see what the response is, because then it seems like it's a money grab. And I don't think that's the way Andrew looks at this at all.
No.
So, yeah.
But at the same time, I personally, I kind of get it because from what I understand from him, it seemed to indicate that this is something that's been bouncing around in his head for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think when you hold on to something for so long, you begin to wonder if it's just you.
Right.
It's
Right.
like, hey, maybe I'm the only one who's going to think this is worth anything. So do I really want to? I don't
really
know.
want to do this? Do I really want to do this? Yeah. No, I hear you on that. Good deal. Anything else?
I think That's it. Oh, there is something else. Are we moving on to our main topic, or do we have
Not
something?
yet. No, we've got
Okay.
some other things
Okay,
we need
well,
to
then
do first.
I'll save that, and I'll transition into our main topic with that other piece of news.
All right.
So we'll save it.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
And a hard place. New music.
Project 86, Knives to the Future.
Project 86, veterans of the Christian rock world, have just dropped their 9th album, Knives to the Future, which comes off the back of an insanely successful Indiegogo campaign. A sequel to their previous stellar record, Wait for the Siren, Knives continues the story of a soldier, this time, after all the fighting is done and the dust is settled, who has no memory of his identity or his past. He's on the hunt for his reality and uncovers clues each step of the way. If anyone can tell this story well, it's Project 86 frontman Andrew Schwab. Schwab is a true artist and easily one of the smartest people in Christian music, and has a way of painting images and concepts with his words, accompanied by ultra-aggressive music that perfectly matches the lyrics of his songs. Aggressive. That's a good word to describe Project 86, especially this album and the one that preceded it. Saturated with war themes and apocalyptic imagery, Andrew Schwab himself was quoted saying, sonically, it is heavy, deeply emotional, desperate, and very personal. Schwab and Project 86 are incredibly talented in many ways, including having a knack for song titles. Listen to these: Spirit of Shiloh, Acolyte March, Knives to the Future, Son of Flame, Captive Bolt Pistol, Ambergram, Genosha, Pale Rider, Valley of Cannons, White Capstone, Oculus. And I didn't even mention the chilling names of the special edition tracks. Here are a few highlights worth noting from this record. The very beginning. You picture a shell-shocked soldier waking from unconsciousness after a mortar fire, panning back to a platoon marching in sync, and then boom! The first song, Spirit of Shiloh, nails you with its violent guitars and the opening line, I wade through silence on this frozen battlefield. The intense combat continues through the title track, where Schwab chillingly shouts, no retreat, there's nothing behind me, we have no choice, we're never surrendering. Son of Flame is an interesting number. Rumor is that this song was written for Andrew's son, as Blood Moon on Siren was written for his daughter. This track has a bit of a soothing tone and fits perfectly in the middle of the album. Genosha really perked my ears. Initially, you're met with the humble sounds of cellos until the mayhem is released. I'd be willing to bet that the title of this song was borrowed from the fictional island of the Marvel Universe that's effectively a post-war disaster zone. Genosha sets the stage for the uber-forceful Pale Rider, my favorite track from the record. Finally, if you don't have a good quality set of headphones, go snag some, slap on those cans, and sit back and drink in the masterpiece known as Oculus. Nearly 7 minutes long, this song seems to be a step off the path P86 normally treads, but in my opinion, this song could have been titled Schwab's Opus. An electronic bed reminiscent of Pink Floyd lays under eerie strings and piano that build to a crescendo that makes the hair on your neck stand up. The lyrics in this track are quite simply some of the best Schwab's ever penned. Project 86 fans had no doubts that they'd receive an epic album, which is precisely why the Indiegogo campaign nearly doubled its goal. It goes without saying, this is an album Team Black can be proud of for years to come. Before I wrap, I have to say this. This is my desire. Schwab, if you're listening, picture this. A feature-length, rock opera-style movie a la Pink Floyd The Wall, set to the music of both Wait for the Siren and Knives to the Future, narrating the story of the soldier depicted in these albums. Sound like the next Indiegogo campaign or what? I'd chip in. I give Knives to the Future by Project 86 5 rocks out of 5. For the Rock in a Hard Place podcast, I'm Tom Labonte.
Tom Labonte is the host of The Edge on UCB Canada, and you can find him at ucbcanada.com or rockfortherock.net. I have yet to listen to Knives. I've had a lot going on and just haven't had an opportunity to check it out yet. But everything that I've heard from everybody is that it is a really, really good album.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, it is. It's one of those things. Whenever Project 86 comes out with a record, I have this odd thing with starting to listen to it. I am excited in a big way and also scared in a big way because for so long they have put out so much good music. I keep on thinking on some level, even though I know that this is ridiculous, on some level I keep on thinking they can't keep it going forever.
Right.
I'm going to be disappointed one of these days. This is not that day though.
Right.
And for all of those people who are thinking about, and I probably shouldn't say this either, but I'm going to anyway, just because this is genuinely probably the truth. For any artist who's thinking about sending me an album to listen to, critique, review, whatever, you might want to wait a little bit because Steve Taylor and Project 86 have taken over my listening habits for the reasonable future, and I don't know when that's going to change. So yours will be highly overlooked for at least a time, and if I come back to it, you're probably pretty lucky. If not, then I don't know what to tell you.
Well, and that may color your review as well.
Right? It's like, well, that's not bad, but it's no Steve Taylor or Project 86.
Exactly. Well, how does this stack up to them? Yeah, guys, go back to the drawing board. It's time for you to start over. Oh,
back to school with you.
But I want to say this, Paul. If you're going to listen to music, you need to do it on decent headphones. Am I right?
It's a good idea, especially from a certain website.
That's exactly right. If you are in the market for a pair of headphones, in-ear, over-the-ear, whatever the case may be, we want to encourage you to check out tweakedaudio.com. Yes, they are a sponsor of this podcast. They've got 7 different styles, 7 different colors. You can get them with a mic or without a mic. They sound great for music and talk. Noise reduction, if you get the kind that slide into your ear canal. They're compatible with any device that has a standard 1/8-inch headphone jack. And they come with a lifetime warranty. Now, I got word from Kirk that his tweaked audio headphones finally bit the dust.
Oh, okay.
And so he filed a claim with the warranty, and they shipped him out a brand new pair of headphones.
Nice.
So
that's the way it's done.
The warranty does, in fact, work.
Yayer.
So that is definitely something to take into consideration. Now, if you do go to tweakedaudio.com and you decide to buy, you can use a code HARDPLACE, all one word, capitalization doesn't matter, HARDPLACE, and you will get 33% off of your headphone purchase. And not only that, Paul and I get a little tiny cut of that sale. So we definitely appreciate it. And shipping is always free, which is also fantastic. So
and might I also add, Christmas buying season is coming up.
Yes, that is true.
And for that audiophile in your family who just really likes nice headphones and wants to be able to use them with what's the word I'm looking for? Without too much horrible discretion, because they're like, well, what if it breaks and I'm out of a pair of headphones? Well, they got a warranty. So
that's right.
So if you've got that friend of yours or that family member who just chews up headphones and just really likes them good, don't go out and drop $100, $200 on a pair of Beats headphones. Get them these.
If you can find a pair of Beats headphones for $100, I want to know.
Right. Because that would be an odd find.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, don't drop that much
fell
money.
off the back of a truck.
Right. Why is that bee facing the wrong way? Oh no.
Yes.
They're Beats, like, the veggie.
That's right. That's right. The only reason they're called Beats is because people will beat you down for being dumb enough to spend that much money on a pair of headphones.
Right. So don't drop that much money.
No.
I know that the Bee is very cool and they're stylish and all that. That's great. But let's face it, they tend to be very, very bass heavy, which isn't really all that great for your ears, number one.
Nope.
And two, that's a ton of money for headphones.
It is.
Use the discount and you can they have some sweet over-the-ear headphones from Tweaked that, especially when you tack in that discount, you're going to get them for a heck of a lot cheaper than Beats. They sound great, and we want you guys to be able to use that warranty and all that good stuff. So check it out. Tweakedaudio.com.
Fantabulous. So last time we recorded, which was, 2 weeks ago now, listener Kirk decided to try his hand at a segment,
Right.
and he called it The Other Stuff.
Right.
Well, he sent me a new one.
Oh, yes!
Do you want to check out what it is that Kirk wants to share with us?
I do.
All right, here we go.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
You know that album friends and critics rave about, but you take your sweet time getting it and listening to it, and then, when you do, it just blows your mind? When I Was Younger by Colony House was that album for me this year. And now I wish I would have gotten it sooner. This young trio from Franklin, Tennessee has either been around music or making music their whole life, considering brothers Caleb and Will have the last name Chapman. That's right, that Chapman, as in the sons of Stephen Curtis Chapman. Along with Scott Mills, they bring a stripped-down indie pop sound that is both infectious and extremely well done.
It caught me by surprise again. It caught me by surprise again. I'm just waiting on the seasons to change. Waiting for the...
While their music is not being pushed in the Christian market, the faith and upbringing of the members shines through their lyrics, providing a Christian worldview to their pop hooks and grooves. It is quite obvious that these guys are not trying to follow in the steps of their father, but are just creating their own sound and just enjoying playing music. You can pick up Colony House's debut album, When I Was Younger, at all major digital outlets, and they also have a 3-song EP available at noisetrade.com. This has been Captain Kirk with The Other Stuff for the Rock and the Hard Place podcast.
All right, so there you have it. The Other Stuff with Captain Kirk. I tell you, for not being an audio guy, he's cutting that stuff together pretty smooth.
Yeah.
You know, there was only a couple of times where I was like, that was a little rough transition. But for the most part, man, he's nailing it. He's knocking it out of the park. So good on him, and we thank him for being willing to share that with us and with our listeners as well. Something just a little bit different than what we normally do. So good on you. Good on you. Paul.
Yes.
What are we talking about?
Well, this was kind of brought up in my consciousness for two reasons. One, because we keep coming back to Family Force 5 and about how their new record, while not bad,
so different,
very different, and we know that there are a lot of fans out there who are like, I like it, but I want Soul Glow Activator back. You know?
Yeah.
And so that was part of it, and the other part of it was just announced that a new vinyl distributor has started doing a bunch of vinyl re-releases recently. They're doing almost all of the classic Reliant K releases on vinyl. Very cool.
Yeah.
House of Heroes, they're re-releasing some stuff from them. And now it just got announced that Business Up Front, Party in the Back, Diamond Edition is getting a 2 LP vinyl treatment, 500 copies only.
Wow.
Yeah. Mine's already been purchased by my mom, and that is my Christmas present for this year.
Okay, now can I say something about this whole vinyl revolution?
Sure.
So when we interviewed Andrew about Knives to the Future a couple of weeks ago, we asked him about the vinyl because that's like a big thing. And he's annoyed, not like angry, but he's annoyed at the fact that vinyl is making a huge comeback. But there's only like 2 places in the world that still print records, like have the machinery to do it.
Oh, I see what you're getting at.
And so his stuff that was his Kickstarter stuff, the vinyl that was supposed to have already been shipped, is like another 15 weeks out because these houses are so backed up on all their vinyl printings.
Yeah.
Because no one's doing it.
Right. And well I don't want to disagree with Andrew on this. That may very well be the case. I know that there are a few places that have brought their vinyl machines back or purchased new ones because of all of this that's been going on. I want to say there's more than maybe he alluded to, but at the same time, I think all of them are getting backed up because it's the only thing that's growing in music. Everything else is people are like, I can steal it for free. I can listen to it on Spotify or Beats Audio or Google Play or any one of a number of subscription services, basically for nothing. I mean, you're paying so little that it's not even worth mentioning. But vinyl is something you can't do that. You can't. Unless you go into the store and shove a gun in somebody's face, you can't steal vinyl. Which I don't know. I think that's kind of cool in that way.
Right.
But so it's the company that's doing this is called SML XL Vinyl. So it's small, medium, large, extra large vinyl. And they're just doing a few T-shirts, which are just their logo on it, and then these re-releases. And they're doing them at $25 a pop. It's not cheap.
Not cheap. No.
But they're only doing 500 of each of these runs.
So how do they mail it to you though? Like, is it?
Have you ever seen a vinyl mailing box?
I've never seen a vinyl mailing box.
Oh, do I have any here?
That to me, that's like
I can show you once we get off the stream because there's one that's stacked up in my closet. But it's basically a cardboard box that's about a half an inch thick, and then the rest of it is the size of a record.
Okay.
And it's poofed out, and then it's made to where it closes around because it's basically just one flat piece of cardboard that you fold around the record.
Gotcha.
And where it folds over, the two bigger sides fold over, it overlaps, so it provides even more added stability. And then whenever I mail vinyl to people, like I sell some like on Amazon and whatnot, I usually put an extra piece of cardboard in there too, just in case. But it's very mailable, but you do have to have the right kind of box, otherwise you're kind of asking for trouble.
Oh my goodness, I could not imagine paying $25 for something and having the post office decide that it was a Frisbee.
Right, exactly. So,
or UPS or whatever. I know if you put Fragile on your UPS packages, they throw them harder.
Right. Yeah. So this Diamond Edition that they're re-releasing, not only is it the version that you got on CD, which included like I think Face Down and Never Let Me Go, and maybe I Love You to Death was also an added track to that, as opposed to the original release that was not the Diamond Edition. But there's also two other songs that were previously only available on compilations or as a digital single.
Right.
Which brings me kind of to the main topic, which is if you're one of those people who, like me, is like, man, I really kind of miss Soul Glow Activator. Well, there may be some stuff out there that you do not know about that you might want to think about checking out. Number one, of course, is that right now Soul Glow, of course, has a weekly radio show called Phenomenon that's on Engine Radio in Houston. You can check that out. But also, if you like that, on SoundCloud, on the DJ Promote, I don't know if it's on Soul Glow's or not. I don't even know if he has one, really. I haven't gotten that far because I ran out of time this morning. But on the DJ Promote SoundCloud page, there is a full hour and 20-minute DJ set of Soul Glow and DJ Promote doing their thing at Rock the Desert this past year.
Okay.
Or earlier this year, I guess I should say. And so I pulled just a little bit of a clip of this. And so basically, it's not as much Soul Glow creating music. It's him mixing music from other people and sometimes remixing on the fly. And then, of course, he does his little shouts in the middle of it, which kind of is more evidence that it's him. But I want to let you know just kind of what it is that he's doing now in a live sense. So here's a little clip from that. So that's just a little clip. Like I said, the whole thing is like an hour and 20 minutes. Unfortunately, it's not downloadable. It's just streamable on, like I said, on DJ Promote's SoundCloud page.
Yeah, if you're smart, there's a way that you can get it.
Yeah. Just true. Hence the reason why I was able to play that clip from you.
Right.
But
I wasn't going to go there.
You're not supposed to. But anyway, so you can check that out. And it also, like I said, does include DJ promote as well. But it's interesting if you're really into that live electronic music sound. It's all over the place. And I like it and don't like it at the same time. I'm not sure how much I really enjoy the whole like shouting in the background of like, all right, once this thing happens, I want y'all to go nuts. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. It would be cool,
but I mean,
if
that's
you
a
were
typical, right. That's like a typical live DJ party.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, a
Absolutely.
rave or whatever you want to call it. It's that kind of thing that you have going on.
Absolutely. So some other things that I didn't know how many other people knew about this. Now, one, of course, if you're savvy and you're into the remix kind of thing, there's so much of it out there. There's not as much for Family Force 5 as you might think, because to me, their stuff is very conducive to being remixed. But I think they're pretty cagey with their stems to be able to just let people remix it unless it's for their own
perhaps
remix
you should
album.
explain what a stem is.
Yes, I should.
You know, that's a term we use, but most common people don't unless you're talking about what a flower sits on top of.
Right, exactly. So when in this context, when you're talking about a stem of a song, is a lot of times when bands will say, okay, we're going to have a remix contest. Here's the stems. And the stems will be, this is guitar 1's part, this is guitar 2's part, and it'll be separated out into individual files that are the length of the song, but it'll only have like the vocal, and then they'll have another one that only has the drums, they'll have another one that only has guitars, keyboards, whatever. However many layers the song has, that each one of those layers is called a stem.
And typically these are guarded pretty closely by most artists. There's websites that you can actually find just like vocal isolations and things like that on. If you try and look hard enough, you can find some of this stuff out there, but it's really, really difficult. So when you see these guys that do mashups and all of that kind of stuff, these guys are either doing the vocal isolation themselves, which means they've got some pretty stinking sophisticated software, or they've managed to find these stems that Paul's referring to.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of the remixes are kind of like this. This one's actually labeled as a bootleg, and you can find it on YouTube. But if you're one of those people who's like me, you're like, man, I just love Soul Glow Activator era Family Force 5 so much. I want to hear different takes on it other than just the official remixed albums that are obviously available and very good. Here's one. This was done by a dude named Andenix, Andenix, and it's going way back to Love Addict, and you can tell he didn't have the stems, but he did a pretty good job considering he didn't have the stems. So see what you think about this. So it's a very bare bones kind of remix. I think he more or less added stuff on top of it and brought some of the stuff down in the mix as best he could around the vocals.
Yeah, you can tell the vocals are kind of buried a little bit, only because he's trying to bring down the music mix behind it so that he can get enough vocal to bring over top of what he's layered in there.
Yeah. But overall, considering what he had to work with, I think he did pretty good.
No, I agree. I agree 100%.
And then also, I realize that probably a lot of people are going to react to this next thing about as well as I did at the beginning. But when 3 came out, there was one song on it that acquired a lot of flack and was probably, at least for the crowd that I ran with, the least popular of the songs off that record. And of course, I'm talking about Tank Top. And for whatever reason, that's the song that Family Force 5 did release the stems of to do a remix. And they had a full remix contest, which once it was over, it was very quickly forgotten. And if you go online, there are a ton of remixes of that song.
Oh, is that right?
And I went and downloaded a bunch of, because even on SoundCloud, there are a ton of them that are downloadable from the remixer for free. And the one, including this one, which I don't know if this was the winner or if it's just one of many or what, but it's actually pretty good. Capital Kings did a remix of Tank Top.
Nice.
So once again, this is some more reimagined Soul Glow Activator era Family Force 5 stuff. And I think this works pretty well. See what you guys think.
I see hot people, I see not people. Everybody moving like they got a job, people.
So a little bit different, more upbeat.
Yeah.
Because the original is very slow.
Now, we should mention that the song Tank Top was actually written about his wife.
Right.
Okay. So, I mean, it out of context, it may sound inappropriate.
Right.
But I don't see anything wrong with him writing a song about how much he enjoys his wife.
Right, yeah.
I would hope that everybody would have the ability to do that.
Exactly.
I mean, that's my take on it. Like I say, it may seem old school or whatever. I don't know, but I mean that song, "Dang Girl" is also written about the wife. So I can't fault them too much for it. I get why people don't get it if they don't take the time, to find that stuff out. Then criticize. But I mean, when we did an interview with, I think Tim did an interview. It wasn't with Soul Glow. It wasn't with Chapstick. It might have been Crouton.
Yeah.
And, he asked him, why are you guys catching so much flack for these songs? And they're like, he said, I don't know. I wrote the song about my wife.
Right.
I mean, this is the relationship I have with my wife. This is how I feel about her. I think she's a hot, sexy beast. I mean, it's, so he's like, I write things about my life, and that's how stuff gets out to it. It's frustrating to me when people are overly condemning of that kind of stuff and saying, well, how can that be Christian? I'm like, hello, have you ever actually read the Song of Solomon?
Right. He talks about all sorts of stuff that out of context seems really bad.
If you want to blush, go read the Song of Solomon. Okay?
Right.
Seriously.
Twin Fawns.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so anyway, but if you like
Let me just tell you this. The hills of Bethards are not real hills.
Right. And Twin Fawns, not deer.
Exactly. Just so you know. Just so you know.
Exactly.
I'll let that go.
Yeah, but anyway, if you want to catch and even download with all permission and legality, go to soundcloud.com. Look, just search Family Force 5 remix. You'll find a ton of remixes of Tank Top. Some of which are terrible, some of which are really good. But it's definitely worth checking out. Now, these two other ones I'm going to play for you are a little bit more obscure. At least to me they are. And maybe I'm the only one. But the first one is we've alluded to this before, but Family Force 5 almost came this close to having the end credit song for the Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland movie.
I know. I was so sad when I found out it didn't actually make it.
Yeah, instead, Avril Lavigne got it. So, but they were very close, and you can actually still get it. It's part of the deluxe edition of the Alice in Wonderland soundtrack, and it's called Topsy Turvy. Now, this is for those of you who really like the more mellow, like superhero esque stuff from Family Force 5, where it's a little more slower, a little more soulful, but it's a good song.
And again, Superhero was written by the brother that almost died.
Right, exactly.
So think of it in that context as well.
Yes, exactly. So this song is called Topsy Turvy, and once again, you can find it on the deluxe edition of the Alice in Wonderland soundtrack. Kind of different for them, but still cool. But check it out and see what you think. So, like I said, very mellow for Family Force 5, but still a very interesting song and one that I think gets overlooked a lot. There's another one that I'm going to mention very briefly that is not, I didn't bring a clip of, but they are also part of like an exclusive Skelanimal like sampler that Target released exclusively on CD, and you can get it digitally.
Okay.
But there's a song on there that's exclusive to that EP or digitally called "Keep the Party Alive," which is also very different for Family Force 5. Way more pop, and when I say pop, I don't mean like EDM pop. I mean just very kind of traditional sounding pop. It's still got the Family Force 5 snake on it, but but very different. And you can check that one out on iTunes as well. Now, the new version of the vinyl version of Business Upfront Party in the Back Diamond Edition also includes this song. Now, this song is one that I had heard live when I saw them when they were touring their first album. For the longest time, the only place I could find anything about it was that it was just a song that they had recorded at some point, didn't do anything with, but they performed it live. And I'm like, okay. So the other day, I'm perusing through iTunes, and it's a digital single. It's going to be on the new vinyl. And it turns out it was also released on, I think, Hip Hope Volume, like 2008, which I totally didn't know. That is on the way to my house. Huh? Yeah. It was the Goatee Hip Hop compilation.
Oh, okay.
And so I do have that on the way to my house. And I'm like, well, dang, I got to have that, right? You know, and how did I not know about this? It's like I consider myself a fan, and I totally didn't know that this could actually be found other than bootlegged off the internet, which is kind of what I did to get this clip for you. But
you didn't hear that, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I didn't
you
hear
did not hear that.
Yeah, we're going to bleep that in editing. But ultimately, it's called What You Gonna Do With It. And it's probably the only thing that's kind of close to being a solid straight-through hip-hop song, maybe other than Ghost Ride the Whip to me. But after, like I said, after hearing this song live, I was like, I want to hear it again. I could never find it. So now I'm getting it. It's going to be on the vinyl. Thoroughly happy about it. But here's a clip for you so you know what it sounds like.
When I move from an outlaw, so I chop short. I don't move slow. Please don't let us hold my phone when I rock in my south.
It is a teensy bit repetitious because the Hey Kids Rock and Roll part gets repeated a lot.
Right. Well, but I mean that's
a fun song.
that's common in that style of music though too. So
exactly.
Okay, I have a quick story for you.
Okay, story time. I like it.
Family Force 5 related, just so you know.
Oh.
So give you a glimpse into to my life and hanging with my daughters and all that kind of stuff. So I mean I enjoy listening to Family Force 5 in my car because I got a nice big amp and sub and all of that. So it booms really big, and I like that. And my daughters like to get crazy to my Family Force 5 music sometimes. It's a lot of fun. So the other day, my oldest, Rebecca, comes to me and says, Daddy, I want to hear that J-So song. J-So? Honey, I'd love to play it for you, but I have no idea what J-So is.
Right.
So she's disappointed. She's like, that song where they go J-So. Oh, no, I don't know what song that is. Okay, move on. A couple of days later, she's like, Daddy, I really want to hear that J-So song. Becca, I don't know what it is. My youngest, Hannah, comes in and she goes, Daddy, the one where they go J-So. And I said, do you mean chainsaw?
Oh.
And she goes, yeah, chainsaw. Where they go chainsaw. Because they do that whole slowdown.
Right.
And so I played chainsaw, and she's like, yeah, that's the one.
Nice.
So, yeah. Very, very, very funny. Very funny.
Okay. Well,
okay.
I will one tiny quick thing to mention for
Yes.
the uber fan. This
Yes.
is even, you have to be a bigger fan, I think, even than me to care about this. But it's funny that it exists. Also on iTunes, I was excited because I thought this was music at first, but it's not. It's called Bloggin' Blogs, Volume 1. It's got album art and everything. And all it is a collection of audio blogs that are all like 6-7 minutes or under. And there's 12 of them. And they're from like 2008.
Oh, wow. That must have been about the time they were doing like the Really Real show and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So if you just can't have enough of the goofy like conversations in between the guys at Family Force 5, you can check that out. Blingin' Blogs. So check it out. Blingin' Blogs. I think I said Bloggin' Blogs before, but yeah, it's Blingin' Blogs.
Now, since you're on the whole remix idea and everything like that, there was a heavy metal band that did a remix contest recently, right?
I have a clip from that too.
I know you do. That's why I'm teasing it right now. So,
assuming that we're talking about the big DH.
Oh, that's the one.
Awesome.
The designated hitter. You got it.
Yayer. So I have two clips actually, because if you listen to, like, I tried to, because legally 30 seconds at a chunk is pretty much all we can do. But I got two clips. There are varying lengths, but I wanted you to get a good idea what the song sounds like. Because if you just pull 30 seconds of any one chunk, you're not going to get a good picture of the song. But this was the winner of a remix contest by a guy named Terminite. I don't know whether or not he's a Christian or not. Some of the stuff on his page is mainstream remixes. Some of it is Christian remixes. So who knows? He's from Britain. He sent me the song to air on this week's Christian Rock 20, so you can catch it in its entirety, like 5 minutes and 40 seconds long, on this week's show. But here's a couple of clips. The first clip is more of the vocal clip for the last one live. And it may not seem horribly different, but I think you'll dig it. And then the second clip is more of what they do with the chorus. So
cool. I'm excited.
Does anyone still hope to set their eyes beyond this place where angels fall and darkness reigns?
So that's just a clip of kind of what he did with kind of the verse of it.
Okay.
Not horribly different. I mean, it keeps the kind of the same kind of tempo.
Right, same
definitely
vibe.
different instrumentation. Yeah, same vibe. There you go. But then it gets to this, and this is where I just really, really love it. So prepare to get all dubby. Here we go.
In darkness reigns.
This whole contest thing marries together so many seemingly unrelatable things together that it cracks me up.
Yeah.
Because you have Rapzilla hosting a remix contest of which EDM artists get involved with for a Demon Hunter song.
Right. Right. I mean, talk about bridging a lot of gaps.
Right. And I will also throw in that there are a bunch of versions that were submitted that are also for free on SoundCloud. So some of them, once again, some of them are good, some of them aren't, but they're free. So if you want to check out other remixes of The Last One Alive, you can check that out. I have no clue what they're going to do with this remix. I don't know if it's going to be on a re-release, if they're going to release it as a single, if they're not going to do anything except for give the guy a prize.
Yeah, totally. Well, maybe he'll get a special edition of the album or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, I know that there's a prize involved. I just don't know what their intentions for the actual product is. But either way, it's cool. I like it. It's, like I said, it's long. But you can go to SoundCloud, check it out, or you can listen to this week's Christian Rock 20 and hear the whole thing as well.
Awesome. Good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal. All right. Now, normally, Paul, you have a contest for me, but you did not do it.
It's lacking.
Yeah. So I have something for you.
Uh-oh.
Okay. You've got to guess the band based off of these lyrics.
Oh, this is going to be horrid.
We'll see.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
Yes, I've got my typing hands in Google all up.
Hey. I did not cheat. You may not cheat either. Okay.
The world isn't fair.
So I went with what I think might be an easy one.
Okay.
But
all right.
easy to me might not be easy to you.
This is true. Thus, we have found out.
We have discovered. Yes, exactly. All right. So here is the first verse of this song, and you don't even have to get the song. You just have to tell me the band.
Okay.
Okay. You ready?
Yes, I hope so.
Time seemed to pass me by. I found myself alone, wondering why. Then you came into my life and gave your love to me. That showed me the way. In my heart, you'll stay.
I haven't the faintest clue.
No?
Not even a little.
All right, let me read you the chorus and see if that helps.
And if it doesn't, then my man card, DJ card, and Christian music fan card will all be revoked, I'm sure.
All right, here's the chorus.
Okay.
And I believe in you. whoa, through and through. Always and forever it will be you and me together.
Oh, dear goodness. Read the chorus again.
And I believe in you, whoa, through and through. Always and forever it will be you and me together.
Man, I am so... Is it Guardian?
No.
Oh.
Same kind of era.
Well, then it must be Striper.
It is.
Oh, okay. All right. That was actually my first guess. And then somewhere behind me, I was thinking that maybe, I was like, is this a DC Talk song that I haven't heard in a while? I was like, I could kind of see it, but I was kind of like, with the whoa, I was like, it's got to be either Striper or Guardian. But yeah.
So, yes, those are the lyrics to Striper's song, I Believe in You, which is off of the album In God We Trust, came out in 1988.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, and it's funny because I think I basically, and by accident, stole my brother's cassette copy of that for a long time.
Yeah. Oh, my. How funny. Do you have a Noise Trade pick?
I have one.
Okay.
And, of course, I also have recommendations to check out that Sleeping at Last Christmas record that they just released. It's a collection, and I hope to grab a clip of it maybe for, closer to Christmas to play for you guys. But This one is one that we've talked about before, but they've just now released it to Noise Trade. It wasn't previously, but of course Philmont is no more
right
now, and now it's even less of Philmont than it was before. But the new band is called Linux, and it features Scott Taub and his wife, and it used to include one of the other members, but I think he's moved on to something else. I don't really know why. I didn't get an explanation on that, and that's okay. It's none of my business. But ultimately, they have released their Captivate EP to Noise Trade. So if you were a fan, but maybe not avid enough to go out and buy the Captivate EP, you can now grab it in its entirety for free or donation, whatever you want to do. And here's a little clip of their current single, Loose Ends. And yeah, it's good stuff.
Now we're tying up the loose ends down. So baby, can you get a cigarette? And now you're dealing with the weight, take it to your grave, tying up the loose ends. Can you keep a secret?
So there you go, Linux, LNYX. So
Nice.
it feels like there should be another vowel at the beginning, but there's not. So it's just
Yes.
LNYX. So
yes.
well, there you go.
There
But
you
check it out,
go.
the Captivate EP, Noise Trade. Gotta love it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that is going to do it for our show this week. I now have to go downstairs and put my gloves on and begin helping my wife tear apart our kitchen. That's the
Right.
noise you heard. If you missed the beginning of the show, that's the noise you may hear, the pounding. I've been riding the mute button as she's been moving closer and closer to underneath my studio directly to try and mitigate some of that noise. But yes, I can definitely hear it down there. So yeah, that's going to do it for us this week. We want to say thanks to our sponsor, tweakedaudio.com. Again, if you need a pair of headphones, tweakedaudio.com. Use the promo code HARDPLACE, 33% off, free shipping, unlimited warranty, or I guess it'd be lifetime warranty. I shouldn't say unlimited.
Right, yeah.
But it's a lifetime warranty, so be sure to check that out. If you want more information about us, you can go to rockandahardplacepodcast.com. That's where we've got all the links to the different download sites for the show, places to check us out. You can also leave comments or listen to the show directly from the website. It is a fantastic thing. Just one last thing, I suppose, left to say, and that would be that I'm Chris Cooner.
And I'm Paul Gibson.
And we will do our best to see you next week. Have a good one.